In 1994, a C++ programmer discovered something by accident. He could make the compiler compute prime numbers, not the program, the compiler, at build time, before the code ever ran. And the way it printed those primes was through error messages. The compiler would refuse to build, and the numbers it was complaining about were prime. Nobody designed that. It fell out of a feature meant for something else. And it accidentally launched 30 years of a thing we now call compile-time metaprogramming. Zig looked at that same problem and did the opposite. Not by accident, on purpose. By running the exact language you already know, one step earlier. Here's the problem underneath all of this. Strip away the language wars. You want code that's specialized for a type. A function that works on integers and on floats, and on your own struct, but is compiled down to fast, specific machine code for each one. No generic dispatch. No runtime cost. No checking types while the program is running. You want the specialization to happen at build time, and then disappear. C++ solved this with templates. And templates are genuinely powerful. They run an entire language at compile time. That's how you get that prime number trick. Templates are Turing complete. And here's the trick behind the trick. He forced the compiler to try, and fail, to build a type it couldn't build. And when it failed, the error message it printed had to describe why, which meant printing the number it had been computing. The failure was the printer. But there's a catch. Templates are a second language bolted onto the first one. It has its own syntax, its own rules, its own way of doing a loop, a conditional, a variable. And its error messages are so notorious that they're a genre of programmer humor. A single mistake can print hundreds of lines that mention types you never wrote. So the problem is real, and C++'s answer works. It just makes you learn a whole separate language to use it. Zig starts from a different question. What if you didn't have to? Zig's answer is one keyword, Comptime. And the whole idea is this. There is no metaprogramming language. When you write compile time code in Zig, you write Zig. The same for loop, the same if, the same functions. The same syntax you use for everything else. It just runs earlier, inside the compiler, before the final binary exists. Look at that. That's a generic function. It works on any type T, but there's no template syntax. No angle brackets full of a second grammar. T is just a parameter whose value is a type, marked Comptime, because the compiler needs to know it at build time. The if in the body, that's the normal if, the one you already know. When you call max with an i32, the compiler runs this function at build time, stamps out a version specialized for i32, and that specialized version is what ships. Call it with a float, you get a float version. No runtime type checks. No generic machinery. Just specialized code generated by ordinary Zig that happened to run one step early. That's the entire trick. There's nothing else to learn. Let me show you the example that makes this click. Say you want a lookup table. 256 pre-computed values, squares, sign values, whatever. The classic performance move, don't compute at runtime, look it up. In a lot of languages, you either hard-code the numbers by hand, or you write a script that generates a file. Or you fill the table at startup and pay for it every time the program launches. In Zig, you just write the loop, a normal loop. Read it, a var array, a for loop that walks every slot and writes I squared into it. Nothing exotic. This is the same loop you'd write anywhere, but it's wrapped in Comptime, so the compiler runs that loop while it's building your program. And here's the payoff. In the final binary, the loop is gone. There is no array being filled. There is no for. What ships is just the table. 256 fixed numbers, baked in as constant data, like you'd type them by hand. Zero runtime cost, zero startup cost. You wrote a loop. The binary got a constant. The code that built the table dissolved the moment it finished its job. Deep dives like this one are supported on the channel's Patreon, if that's your thing. And notice what you did not do. You didn't open a template. You didn't learn a macro system. You wrote a for loop. Step back, because this is the real argument. In C++, to be genuinely good, you eventually learn two systems. The normal language, and the compile time language, templates, and lately, a growing pile of constexpr and consteval keywords trying to make compile time code feel more normal. Two mental models, two sets of rules living in the same file. Zig collapses that into one. There is no separate metaprogramming dialect, mostly. The two modes share syntax completely. A few edge cases behave differently under the hood, but you never have to learn a new grammar to hit them. Learn the for loop once, and you know the compile time for loop because it's the same loop. That's the quiet reason people who try Zig get evangelical about this specific feature. It's not that Comptime does something templates can't, often it does less. It's that it does it without asking you to hold a second language in your head. An engineer learning Zig learns one language. The compile time power comes for free, out of the language they already learned. That's the whole pitch. Less to carry, same reach. Now, this is one piece of a bigger story. Everything you just saw running the same language one step earlier, Comptime instead of macros, is exactly what the video that ties this whole investigation together points to when it says Zig replaced macros with Comptime. The rest of it is there, where this comes from, what it costs, and importantly, why Comptime does not fix every problem Zig still has, because it doesn't. That video is already up on this channel. It's called The 580-Line Language That Broke Node. Watch it next, start there, and this piece snaps into place.